Hello everyone, Gamer Ninja here, and welcome to the next Pokemon of the week. In case you can't tell from the title, for whatever reason, the Pokemon of the week this time around is Raikou, or Raikou. Raikou, or Raikou, whichever you want to pronounce, has always been a very solid Pokemon, both in OU and in UU. It was the only real electric type that could compete with the likes of Jolteon in earlier generations. And while other Pokemon can, in theory, do its job better, very few can have as many tricks to it as Raikou. All in all, I think it's a very solid Pokemon. Definitely consider it if you want something that can set up tempo, take a couple of shots, and hit back just as hard as the opponent. Alright, so first off, we have our standard Assault Vest set, and for whatever reasons, my EVs are all messed up, so we're gonna fix that right now. And 240. I believe I had 248 in HP. Yeah, that looks about right. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, the first Raikou is the simplest set to run. It's the Assault Vest Raikou. Assault Vest Raikou, if you look at its base stats, is actually pretty solid on the special defense stat. I mean, 100 can take a couple of shots. I mean, tanking Mew is ridiculously overpowered on both ends of the spectrum because it has base 100 in both. So all in all, Raikou is, this Raikou just comes in, hits something, and takes a shot back. Thunderbolt is just your standard stab. Volt Switch is very nice for keeping momentum going and predicting switches. Or if you're just not sure what to do, you can almost always Volt Turn out. Or Volt Switch out, I should say. Hidden Power Ice is there for coverage, and Extra Sensory is what I use on this set, although you can use Aura Sphere. I prefer Extra Sensory for catching Gengars off guard. Literally the only reason why I use it is because Gengar is still a Pokemon. But if you use Aura Sphere, which is also a fine option to use, it could catch some steals off guard, you're going to need to run Rash Nature, which, if memory serves, is plus special attack minus special defense, which isn't terrible, but it kind of hurts this set because your whole purpose is to take special attacks. This Raikou doesn't really have too many weaknesses that, how can I put this? The biggest weakness of this thing is not necessarily the fact that it's really weak to a Pokemon, although ground types still are a problem just because you're an electric type. The big issue with this set is the fact that you don't have any recovery, not even leftovers, which means that you are worn down by stealth rocks and hazards really, really quickly. So you're going to want to have something like Wish support, or at very least a Defogger or Rapid Smear to keep those hazards off the board. Raikou will be constantly switching in and out, sponging up hits, and then dealing a lot of damage in return. You don't want it to be worn out too badly by the likes of hazards before it can even get its job done. This is also probably the most universal Raikou. If you need a special defensive Pokemon, but you don't want to give up too much offensive power, you could probably throw this thing in, and you'll be able to hit from the special attacking side very nicely. Electric is a very nice offensive stat, and it's just a really good Pokemon all in all. This is probably one of my favorite sets. Probably my second favorite set. Anyway, the next set is also a bit, is pretty standard. It used to be way popular in 4th gen, I believe. Yeah, 4th or 3rd gen, it was really popular. This is Calm Mind Raikou. You're gonna see a variant of this set later on, but this is what sort of started the whole craze. Put quite simply, Calm Mind. Well, after one Calm Mind, Raikou can blow up nearly everything, and nothing's gonna be happy about it. The extra HP, as for EVs, the extra HP EVs are there just to give you a little bit more bulk. Max speed, max special, rest and speed, max special attack. Hit hard, hit fast. Because of the sheer variety of moves that you have for coverage, Raikou will, generally speaking, force out a lot of Pokemon just because they don't want to eat a Thunderbolt or a Hidden Power Ice or even the rare Shadow Ball or Extra Sensory or Aura Sphere or anything like that. They're going to want to switch out, and then you use that turn to set up a Calm Mind, and then you just make your opponent's life a living hell. Alternatively, instead of Hidden Power Ice, for any of these sets, you could run Hidden Power Grass if the Quagsire, Swampert, etc. are all a real big problem for you. I guess also Rhyperior in the UU tier. I personally prefer the Bolt Beam coverage that Hidden Power Ice gives. That's entirely your choice, though. Both are perfectly fine. Next up, we have the Choice Scarf set. With base 115 speed, there is no surprise that the Choice Scarf would be a very popular item just to make sure that you're never outsped by anything. The moves are pretty simple. I personally run a Rash Nature on this one, just because you're not really going to be staying in long enough to take any hits. But the EVs are self-explanatory. Again, for this set in particular, you're also going to want a lot of hazard support. You have no form of recovery. You're switching out even more than the Assault Vest set, and you're even more fragile. So that means that you're going to need a lot of team support, or your job is just to kill one thing. Again, you can run Hidden Power Grass. You don't need to run Aura Sphere. For this set, I like the better coverage of Aura Sphere. Shadow Ball has a few merits as well, in case you are absolutely terrified of the likes of Alakazam or something. Mega Alakazam, you just blast it in the face with a Shadow Ball. Alternatively, this set could be a choice spec set, in which case I'd probably not use the Rash Nature. I'd want to have as much speed as possible, and I'd change it to a Timid Nature. But both sets are perfectly fine, honestly. Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, both are fine. Next up, we have the Life Orb set. Hey, doesn't this look a bit familiar in terms of moves? Yeah, that's because it's basically the same as the Calm Mind set earlier, except you have a Life Orb. So that means that you have a lot less durability because you don't have leftovers, which means that you're taking way more entry hazards, weather damage, and in addition, you're ticking down your own health with Life Orb. However, Life Orb means that you will be hitting way harder than anything should with a Life Orb. Okay, not really. But you're still going to be hitting way harder than a lot of people expect on that first move. Alternatively, you could run an Expert Belt if the 10% health loss from Life Orb is a problem. You have quite a bit of type coverage between Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Grass or Hidden Power Ice and Extra Sensory. So you could probably land a super effective hit on something. All in all, this set is not really. I don't like this set because I think Raikou wears itself out way too fast thanks to hazards and such. Um, it's just my opinion on the thing. It's still a pretty viable set, and it works. I've seen it wreck people. I've wrecked with it, and I've gotten wrecked by it, so I can't really say it's a bad set. I just don't like how it plays. So that's my opinion on it. Next up, we have. Oh god, somebody suggested this set to me, and I don't like it, but I'm gonna post it anyway. Basically, this is Crocoon on a Raikou. Now, Crocoon works because Crocoon is massively defensive, but just by nature, and its stab has no immunities. Raikou, on the other hand, has to worry about a lot of ground types running around, be it Excadrill, Flygon, whatever. So this set is a bit weaker in comparison. However, you can't deny the fact that Thunderbolt will hurt a lot after 2 or 3 Calm Minds, even for things that resist it. Thunderbolt does have quite a bit of coverage. Sleep Talk and Rest finally fixed the issue of very little recovery on Raikou, and you can actually take shots and heal off of them. But all in all, if you want a Crocoon style Pokemon, just use Crocoon, honestly. Unless you really want the electric type. In which case, why use Raikou and why not use something like Ampharos or something, which has more bulk? But anyway, I digress. This set can work. I can see it working. You need a lot of team support behind it, though. You need team support to not only get rid of the hazard so it doesn't get wrecked on switch in, you need to kill all the ground types before you use this thing. If this is your last Pokemon and the opponent has a ground type, you insta-lose, just automatically. And all in all, it just feels weird using this very fast, very powerful Pokemon on the offensive side in such a defensive manner. Yes, I know it can work, and I'm not bashing people who use this set, but I gotta ask why. I'm sure there are electric types that could do this thing's job, relatively speaking, better. Anyway, The last set is probably my favorite set. This is Sub Calm Mind, and with this set, earlier I said that Hidden Power could be either ice or grass. With this one, I almost wholeheartedly tell you need to go ice for the Bolt Beam coverage, because you'll only have two offensive moves. You want those to be Thunderbolt and a coverage move, and Hidden Power Ice gives the best coverage. EVs are self-explanatory: max speed, max special attack, 4 in HP for a little extra bulk. Raikou forces a lot of switches. Most people won't know what set you're running. Just if you just fire off a Calm Mind, they'll just think you're Calm Mind 3 attacks. And then when they try to, like, I don't know, Will-O-Wisp you to tick you down, you just throw a Substitute in. Substitute is also very good if you don't know if your opponent's going to switch out or not. You're probably going to be faster than the opponent when you have 115 speed. So you can just throw up a Substitute, see what they do, and change your gameplay accordingly, and maybe even get a lot of tempo off of it. From behind a Substitute, Calm Mind helps improve your bulk overall, and then you just start firing Thunderbolts or Hidden Power Ice, depending, and just proceed to win in a very, very easy manner. I prefer this over the Crocoon set. It still gives you the option of just flat out attacking without getting walled by ground types if you need to do that. It'll hit hard even without Calm Mind, but if you manage to get that Substitute and a Calm Mind under your belt, oh boy, your opponent is not going to be happy. So anyway, guys, that's Raikou. I really hope you enjoyed this week's Pokemon of the Week. Raikou is a very solid Pokemon. I'd like to see it used more, actually. I think it sort of is underrated right now. Underused is a fine tier. I'm probably going to actually start playing it very shortly. I've been doing a little bit of research on it. RU looks like a blast right now. And all in all, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I might even build a team around Sub Calm Mind Raikou. So, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, I'm the Gaming Ninja. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you all so much for all the support. And with that, I am out.